my name is Madeline, and welcome to this full body holiday themed Ian yoga class. So, thanks to Nick Ryan for suggesting this class, and he also gave me some fun creative names to use for the poses that I might throw in here. So, yeah, this is a great class to do just if you're kind of looking to relax from the kind of hecticness of the holidays or just any time of the year. So let's start with some breath work. We'll do some box breathing, which is where you inhale for a count of 4, hold at the top for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold at the bottom for a count of 4. So you can exhale all the air out now. Take an inhale through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the top, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold at the bottom, 2, 3, 4. And just do a couple more rounds of those at your own pace. And finishing one last round here, no rush. And then return back to your regular breath whenever you're ready. And we'll do a tiny bit of movement before getting into our yin poses. We'll go for some seated cat-cows. You can start to bring the hands to the knees, and as you inhale, begin to arch the spine forward, looking up. And then round the back as you exhale. And you can continue like this, or take any kind of fluid movement that feels good. So maybe some circles, maybe a twist. Listening to your body. And take one more breath here in this movement. Then return back to center, and we'll get into our first yin pose, which will be on our backs. We'll be coming into a reclining tree or reclining Christmas tree. So come all the way down onto your back and start to bring that sole of the right foot to that left thigh. So kind of like a half butterfly on your back. Option to place a block underneath that right knee if that feels good. You can just let those arms drape out to the sides, or if you want some more chest opening, cactusing out those arms. And breathe here. And let's take a couple more deep breaths here. Taking one last deep breath, and then slowly start to release that right leg, extending it out long, and keep the arms wherever they are. And we'll just go right into that other side, this time bringing the sole of the left foot to that right thigh. And arms can be in whatever position feels good. So just getting that gentle hip opening to start with. And let's take a few more deep breaths here. Take one more breath, and then slowly start to let it go, releasing that left leg out long. You can let the arms drape down to the sides. And let's just pause here on our backs for a couple of moments, absorbing the effects of those poses. Take one more breath here. And we're still going to stay down on our backs, and we're going to come into a banana asana or a stocking pose. So reach the arms up above you and start to shift the hips a little over to the left, and then walk those feet over to the lower right corner of the mat and the upper body over to the upper right corner of the mat. So you're in this banana-like, crescent-like shape here. Option 2, cross left ankle over the right, and maybe grab hold of the left wrist with the right hand, or take hold of opposite elbows, or another arm variation that feels good in your body. And send the breath all the way up and down that left side body. Take a couple more deep breaths here. And if you have those ankles crossed, beginning to uncross them, let go of that left wrist if you're holding on, and then slowly start to shift the body back to center. Let's pause here for one breath. And then we'll move into that other side. Again, reaching those arms up above you. This time shifting hips a little over to the right, and then walking the feet over to the lower left corner of the mat and the upper body over to the upper left corner. So in this Banana Asana stocking pose, you can cross your right ankle over the left, maybe grab hold of right wrist, and leaning into this crescent-like shape, breathing into that right side body. And take one more breath here. And slowly uncross those ankles, let go of the wrist, and start to make your way back to center. No rush. This time you can draw the knees into the chest. Maybe rock a little bit side to side on the back. And we're going to press up into a tabletop position. So you can roll back and forth on the mat, or you can just gently press up in any way that feels good. And once you're in your tabletop, option to take a couple of cat-cows, or again, take any fluid movement that feels good in the body. And return back to your neutral tabletop. And we're going to come back into a seat for a butterfly position, seated diamond, or a sleigh pose. So start to bring the soles of the feet together in front of you in this kind of diamond-like shape. Option if you have blocks to place them underneath those knees. And you can stay upright like this, or if you want some more, start to fold forward towards those feet. Really try to let the spine soften and round, let that head drop, and soften into the pose. Maybe with each breath, you're able to sink a little bit deeper. And take one more deep breath here. If you're folding forward, slowly start to press back up onto those hands. You can bring the hands to the thighs and slowly start to draw those knees back in. Maybe you want to go for a couple of windshield wipers here, rocking the knees from side to side if that feels good. And then let's return back to center, and we're going to come into a deer pose or a reindeer pose. So start to bring that left shin parallel with the top of the mat, and then that right shin is going to slide down alongside the side of the mat. So you kind of have these two right angles, triangle-like shapes here. Option to grab a block and place it in front of that left shin. And then start to fold forward over that left shin if it feels good. Maybe forehead comes to block or to the mat. So you should be feeling a gentle hip opening in this pose. And try to keep that right knee in line with the hip. Take a couple more deep breaths here. And then slowly start to press your way back up. Take your time here. We'll just go right into that other side. That's the best counter pose for this. So this time, that right shin can come parallel with the top of the mat. And then that left shin will be coming down along the side of the mat. Maybe try to align that left knee with the hip. And then start to fold over that right leg whenever you're ready, or right shin. And maybe forehead comes to a block or to the mat, or neither. This time feeling that opening in the outer right hip. And take one more really deep breath here. And slowly start to press back up onto those hands. No rush. You can remove the block if you're using it. And you can just let those legs go, extending them out long. Maybe shaking out the legs a little bit. And then we're going to come onto hands and knees and come into a child's pose. So you can bring the feet together, spread the knees wide on the mat, and then start to sink back towards those feet, melting the chest towards the ground, resting the head here. Maybe you want to bend a little bit at those elbows, making this child's pose a little softer. No need to go into a very active variation here. And breathe, let the body rest. And take a couple more breaths here. Take one last deep breath. And we're going to stay down low on the mat and just slide forward, slither forward into a sphinx or a slithering Grinch pose. So here in Sphinx, the forearms will be down on the mat, parallel with each other. Your gaze can be out slightly in front of you. Option to grab a block and place it underneath the forehead. And then send that breath up and down the spine. And we'll take a few more breaths here. Take one last breath. And then slowly start to come all the way down on the mat. Hands can stack on top of each other. Let the forehead rest on the hands. And maybe you want to wiggle those hips a little side to side, releasing that back a little bit. And return back to center. Stay here for a couple of breaths in resting belly. Take one more breath. And then we'll start to press up onto hands and knees. We'll come into a seated position with the legs out long. Take your time. And from here, we'll come into a half butterfly or a half candy cane pose. So start to bring that sole of the right foot to the left thigh, kind of like how we started at the beginning of class. And then reach those arms up and start to fold over that left leg. And you don't have to go too far here, just as long as you feel a nice opening in that hamstring. And let the spine soften, let the head drop. And let's take a couple more breaths here. Take one more breath. And then slowly start to crawl those fingertips back up. You can stay in this leg positioning, and we'll just take a gentle twist over to the right. So bringing that left hand to right knee, bring the right fingertips behind you. Look over that right shoulder and breathe. And then return slowly back to center. You can release that right leg. And we'll go into that half candy cane on the other side. So this time bringing sole of the left foot to the right thigh. You can always sit up on a blanket here if that feels better. And then reach those arms up and start to fold over that right leg. Notice the difference between the two sides. Again, you really don't have to go too far here, just as long as you feel that opening in the right hamstring. And take a couple more deep breaths here. And then slowly start to walk those fingertips up that right leg. You can keep the legs in the same position. And we'll do that twist on this side. This time bringing right hand to left knee, left fingertips behind you. Look over that left shoulder and take a deep breath. Return all the way back to center whenever you're ready. Extend that left leg out long. Maybe shake those legs out a little bit if that feels good. And then return back into stillness, and we'll stay here and come into a caterpillar pose. So option to bend those knees as much as you like. The more you bend the knees, the more of a lower back opening it'll be. The straighter your legs are, the more of a hamstring opening it'll be. So let's come into this caterpillar or full candy cane pose now and reach those arms up and start to fold forward over the legs, just going as far as feels good, getting a stretch along the entire backside body. And we'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more breath and slowly start to rise back up, taking your time, no rush. And from here, option to do a couple of windshield wipers again, rocking knees from side to side. Could feel really good. And then from here, we'll come back onto our hands and knees and tabletop to come into a melting heart pose or a melting snowman pose. So you're in your neutral tabletop, option to place a blanket underneath those knees and try to keep the knees and the hips in one line here as you start to walk those hands up towards the top of the mat. Option to grip the top of the mat with your fingertips and then start to melt that chest forward, maybe forehead touches the mat. If you feel any pain tingling in those arms, you can always spread them wider across the mat as well. Really breathe into that upper body. Such a good pose if you're hunched over a desk all day. And let's take a few more breaths here. Take one last deep breath. And staying low to the mat, start to slide back into a closed legged child's pose. So knees together and the arms reaching back behind you. Just let the whole body melt, let the body rest, let go of any tension, any stress. And we'll stay here for a few moments. Take one more breath here. And then slowly start to come back up, taking your time. And from here, we'll return back down onto our backs. You can hug the knees into the chest, maybe rock a couple times from side to side. And then plant those feet back down on the mat whenever you're ready. And we're going to come into a reclining pigeon or a reclining Christmas light pose. So you can keep those feet planted down on the mat and then start to bring that right ankle to the top of the left thigh. You can stay here if this feels like enough for you. If you want some more, you can start to draw that knee in towards the face. Maybe grab hold of the hamstring or in front of the shin. So just whatever works for you, whatever feels good. Getting that nice opening in the outer right hip. And let's take a couple more breaths here. And then start to slowly let it go. If you have the arms wrapped around, you can release that, bringing the left foot back down to the mat. You can let go of that right leg. Pause here for one breath. And then we'll go into that other side. This time, bringing the left ankle to that right thigh. You can keep the right foot down on the mat if that feels good, or start to draw that right knee into the chest, either wrapping the hands around the hamstring or the front of the shin. And it's okay if you do something different than you did on the other side. Let's just breathe here, breathing into that left hip. And take one more deep breath here. If the arms are wrapped around, let that go. And start to bring that right foot back down to the mat. You can let that left leg go. And extend those legs out long. You can shake the legs out a little bit if that feels good. And then start to draw the knees back into the chest. We're going to come into a happy baby here, like a child, happy child on Christmas morning. And you can start to let the knees drop to the sides. Grab hold of the outside of the feet if that feels good. Maybe you want to rock a couple times side to side before settling into some stillness. And we won't be here for too long. Take one more deep breath in, happy baby. And slowly start to let that go. Take your time. Bring the feet back down to the mat. And from here, we'll go for a couple of shorter reclining twists. So start to shift the hips over to the left. You can draw the knees into the chest and then let those knees drop over to the right. And you can extend that left arm out into a T shape or a cactus shape. Option to place a block underneath or in between the knees. And try to keep left shoulder pressing down on the mat. Take one last breath here. And start to draw those knees back to center. We'll go right into that other side, this time shifting hips over to the right and letting those knees drop over to the left. You can reach that right arm out into a T shape or cactus, trying to keep right shoulder pressing down on the mat. And send the breath up and down the spine. Take one more deep breath here. And then slowly start to draw the knees back to center and hug those knees into the chest. Maybe make some circles with the knees. And from here, take any final poses or movement that your body is needing. And whenever you're ready, there's no rush at all. You can start to extend those legs out long. Let the arms drape out to the sides. Surrender into the earth. For your final resting pose, Shavasana, like you're taking a long winter's nap. And if you have the time, I encourage you to stay in the Shavasana for as long as you like. If you have to get going, we'll close with one last breath. You can exhale the air out now. Take a deep inhale through the nose, and then a big sigh out the mouth. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you're feeling more relaxed, and I hope you have a great holiday if you're doing this practice around the holidays. And if you'd like to see more yin yoga classes like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time.